All right, so one of the questions that I get asked most as a coach, and I think especially nowadays since everybody's becoming aware of the fact that I've created this platform called Worthy, is how do I feel worthy? How do I feel worthy of having, doing, being the person that I know that I can become? How do I feel self worth? And I think it bears us starting with what is the definition of self worth? Now, I actually went to the dictionary to look for the dictionary definition. And what the dictionary says is that self worth is a feeling that you're a good person who deserves to be treated with respect. Let's just pause on that for a second. It's a feeling that you are a good person who deserves to be treated with respect. Isn't that powerful? The fact that you are a good person, and yet so many of us don't feel good. And the fact that we deserve to be treated with respect. And yet, so many of us allow ourselves to be treated disrespectfully. So many of us don't have boundaries when it comes to what's acceptable for ourselves. And so I wanted to share with you what I've discovered on my journey, because this is very much something that has been a struggle. And I believe that it truly is a lifelong struggle. It's something that we all face as we go through life. Is there will be periods of life where we question ourselves, we question our self-worth. And so I wanted to share with you today the 5 things that you can do to feel your most worthy. 5 things that you can do to start to reclaim your feeling of self worth. The first thing of those 5 things is self love. Remember, the definition of self worth is feeling like you deserve to be treated with respect. And the first question that I would ask is, are you treating yourself with respect? And that ultimately is what self love is. It's about valuing yourself because everything else comes from that. I think for so long in my life, I looked to other people to love me for me to feel lovable. And yet, really, it all starts with me loving me. Me being the person that I love most above everything else. And not in an egotistical, selfish way, but truly understanding that when you truly love yourself, then you can be love and you can give love in the world. And so it really starts, self worth starts with, do you love you? Do you truly love you? Can you look yourself in the eyes, in the mirror, and say, I love you? And feel that with conviction. Feel that with truth. One of my favorite books is a super quick read, but a beautiful book. It's called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. And you know what? When you think about it, your life really does depend on it. And one of the exercises, a really simple exercise that he has, is a meditation that you do in this book. And what he says, what he suggests is that you play a piece of, nice music, a meditation music, 5 to 7 minutes. And you just sit there with your eyes closed. And on the in breath, when you breathe in, you say to yourself, I love you. And when you release your breath on the out breath, it's releasing any of the noise, any of the negative thoughts that come up. It's an incredibly simple exercise, but oh my gosh, so powerful. Another really powerful exercise that you can do is to actually stand in front of a mirror and look yourself in the eyes. Look at yourself and say those words. Say those words with meaning. Repeat them over and over. I love you. I love myself. That's number 1 of the 5 things I want to share with you today of how do you start to feel self-worth? How do you start to reclaim your feelings of self-worth? The second thing that I'd love to share with you when it comes to recovering your feelings of self worth is understanding that self worth comes from self acceptance. Accepting the fact that there is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not defective. There is absolutely nothing in you that needs to be fixed. Understanding that who you are today is a product of all of the things that have happened before, but there is nothing wrong with you. Accepting that where you are is where you're meant to be in this moment. Accepting that everything that went before was there to help you learn, to help you grow. And that what you do have control over is the future. You can't go back and change the past. The past is the past. But what you can do is choose to take the lessons, choose to see the past as a gift to you, as an opportunity for you to truly see yourself, and then to make choices for your future that move you towards who you want to be. And so, really accepting that you are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you, and you are deserving of all good things. You are not broken. The third thing that I would love for you to embrace when it comes to finding your feelings of self-worth is self-compassion. We are hardest on ourselves. We are harder on ourselves than any other person can be. We beat ourselves up for the things we didn't do, the things we should have done, the things that didn't go right, the things that went wrong, for all of the things. And what we really need to understand is that you're doing your best. One of my favorite quotes is from Maya Angelou. And Maya Angelou said, "When you know better, you do better." And really approaching life as from a place of self-compassion, that I did the best that I knew how with what I had back then. But now I get to stand in that place and choose to learn from the past and move forward from a place of self-compassion, from a place of kindness to myself, from a place of nurturing of myself. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to be compassionate with yourself, because even if you've made mistakes, even if there were huge mistakes, what makes it a mistake is when you don't choose to learn from it, when you don't choose to change as a result of it. And so really extending yourself kindness, extending to yourself self-compassion. I love this meditation called Ho'oponopono, and it's something that I'm going to be uploading over the next few weeks. It's a self-forgiveness meditation based on an ancient Hawaiian tradition. It's a tradition of extending forgiveness to others. But I think more importantly, we need to extend forgiveness to ourselves. And that truly is what self-compassion is. Realizing that you did the best that you knew how, but now you get to make different choices. The fourth thing that I'd like you to consider when it comes to how do you build up your feelings of self-worth is how you speak to yourself. There is power in your words. I think the Bible says that your life is created by your tongue. And so what we say about others matters. What we say about ourselves matters even more. You create your life with your thoughts, with your words, and with your actions. And so, are you being kind to yourself? Are you speaking words of affirmation to yourself? Or do you use your words to beat yourself down, to be negative about yourself? It really is a conscious effort that you have to make to speak kindly of yourself and to yourself. There's a wonderful book as well that I recommend that is called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And it's funny, right, that we have to be taught what to say to ourselves, how we speak to ourselves. But it's so important because everything that we say in our minds matters, because it ultimately is the seed of what we believe about ourselves, what we believe is possible for ourselves. So, really standing guard at the gate of your words in your mind to yourself, of the words, the things that you say repeatedly over and over about yourself. And sometimes they're very innocent things that we say innocently. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, I'm so clumsy. But those words matter because they get ingrained in your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is really what is running your life. And if you keep telling yourself that I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm clumsy, well, it'll become a self fulfilling prophecy. And so it's really about, how do you speak to yourself? What are the words you use? What are the affirmations that you use? And for me, I've found that affirmations are the most powerful thing. I used to think that they were so dumb. Like, how can you say, I love myself? Or how can you say, whatever your affirmation is, I am worthy? How's that going to change your life? But as we know, your subconscious mind is imprinted by repetition. And so the more you say those words, the more you say those words and connect them with feeling, truly feeling into those words, they become powerful because it's what you start to believe about yourself. So speak words that are affirming. Speak words that place you in your power. The fifth thing that I'd like to suggest to you when it comes to creating feelings of self worth and really stepping into worthiness is self integrity. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself? Truly trust yourself? Because here's what I know, and this has been my own experience in my life, is that I'm great at keeping my commitments to other people, but I'm not so great at keeping my commitments to myself. So I make promises to myself. Oh, I'll exercise tomorrow morning. Oh, I'll do that project and I'll make sure I get it done on time. And so every single time that I break that promise to myself, I erode my self trust. I stop trusting and believing in myself. And so self integrity is an integral part of you feeling self worth, of you feeling worthy. When you can truly honor your commitments to yourself, honor the words that you say, honor the things that you say you're going to do, honor those goals, those intentions that you have, then that will start to rebuild your feelings of self trust. And that is your journey to feeling self worth. And so, those are the five things that for me have really been the keystone, the pillar of me stepping into my self worth. But here's one thing that I want to share with you and that I want to remind you. Feeling self worth isn't a one and done, it's a continual journey. It is your life's work to continually feel self-worth, to continually put yourself in a place where you feel worthy. And I can guarantee you that the moment you start to step into your self-worth, you're going to feel resistance. You're going to feel those feelings of self-doubt and am I worthy of achieving? Can I really do it? All of those self-doubts will rear their heads in a major way. Know that. Know that you're going to feel resistance. And instead of you trying to fight against it, figure out, how can you work with that resistance? How can you question that resistance? How can you journal on it to understand, where is that resistance from? And how can you address that resistance? And one of the keys is starting with understanding, do I love myself? Do I accept myself? Am I compassionate with myself and to myself? How do I speak to myself? And am I in integrity? Thank you so much for joining me today. And may you always, always remember that you are worthy to be, to do, to have anything your heart desires.